Ahoy there, captains, and welcome back to a brand new video. And we have the big patch notes today. The new update has just gone live very early this morning, and we are going to be going through absolutely everything in this brand new patch. I hope you guys are excited for this because there is going to be a lot of stuff that I'm sure many of you are going to be happy with within this update, and we're going to get straight in with it. So they say, ahoy captains, thank you for your patience and support through our journey. In this update, we focused on addressing some of the most commonly reported issues so far. Among the changes, you'll notice improved connection stability, reduced disk and CPU usage, and variety of quality of life adjustments designed to make your overall experience smoother. As for the Steam Cloud Save fixes, they're still on the way. After additional internal testing, we decided to give them more time to ensure everything works reliably before release. So, important bits. Added new setting, Force Relay Connection. Doesn't work with direct IP connections. Sometimes players are unable to connect directly to their friends' games because P2P traffic is blocked along this route. This can happen for many reasons, such as router settings, ISP restrictions, firewall restrictions, and more. The option forces the use of our relay servers instead of a direct P2P connection, which can improve stability at a cost of higher latency ping. They fixed a bug that caused connection issues for players with non-English Windows usernames. That's an interesting one. Fixed unnecessary CPU usage on idle servers and clients. Disk usage during gameplay has been reduced. That's a big W there. Several improvements to ship performance when hosting a server. Fixed a rare crash caused by invalid inventory slot IDs. Fixed a crash that occurred when killing drowned with the ship cannon fire. And reduced the crafting cost of a wide range of building pieces across all building sets, and this applies to construction costs, not vendor prices. Right, the new stuff that's been added into the game. So they added around 40 missing wall triangle pieces for various roof angles. I know a lot of people are excited about these new stuff. Added 3 missing floor triangle pieces to different building sets. Added 4 new seed bed variations. Added new sound effects for when crops transition between growth stages. Added new sounds for harvesting grown plants at your farm. Added audio cues for drowned range attacks, and they now yell before hurling a projectile. That would be good for like, so then you can know it's incoming. Added new visual effects for when crops transition between growth stages. Added new visual effects for harvesting grown plants at your farm. Bonfire ambient music track has been extended by 3 minutes, and the ship travel ambient track has been extended by 40 seconds. Now for the interface, so they fixed frame gen stuttering that occurred when closing the inventory or map. Fixed a video memory VRAM spike when opening certain UI windows. The disassembly station no longer displays equipped items in the list. Fast travel markers now appear on the top layer of the map and when fast travel is available. Fixed remapping issues for the O and L keys. Arrow key inputs no longer rotate the character camera. Mouse aversion now correctly affects ship and ship battery controls. Sensitivity settings now correctly affect aiming with ranged weapons. The shared quest progress tag will no longer appear in the journal if the shared progress setting is disabled. Added remapping support for more actions, secondary interactions, inventory management, and HUD and toggle. Two-handed firearm controls are now remapped as well. The hide UI toggle now only hides the HUD and no longer affects the inventory, journal, or other menus. Added a dedicated setting to adjust safe zones for widescreen monitors. Fixed a bug where settings could change the value even if not directly hovered over by the gamepad cursor. Fixed a mapping issue for accented letters and improved support for accented letters in player ship names. We are working on expanding our custom font to natively support more languages soon. Building, terraforming, fixes and improvements. So, here we go. Decorative canopies now count as roofs for the crafting station requirements. Fixed cases where digging under a tree could cause it to hang in the air. Fixed a bug that allowed players to dig under divvy stumps or certain trees in swamps. Fixed the shovel flattener tool. It now should correctly use the ground under the character's feet as a baseline. Building integrity now correctly calculates if a destructible object is used as a support is destroyed. Fix a bug that caused crocodile sculptures, the Jolly Crocodile sculpture, Wise Crocodile sculpture, to levitate slightly. Fix clipping issues with 26-degree Mahoney stars. Fix snapping issues for 26-degree roof corners in the Jungle Survivor set. And fix collision issues for the 26-degree and 45-degree railings that can now be correctly placed on foundations and floors. They fix square pillar collisions. Existing player-built structures should not be affected. Hopefully should, is worrying. But fix the visual offset for pier pillars. Hopefully should not be affected. Signal fire has now the correct collision preset. You can now walk over it. Saplings can now be planted with higher density and reduced spacing requirements. Signal fire now shares the comfort buff with the other fire related entities, and the pier decorations now correctly provide their own comfort bonus. And fix a bug that occasionally made certain building blocks indestructible. Okay. So now we have the other bug fixes and improvements. So they've improved the drop rate for the tainted bile. Hardwood drop rate increased by approximately 20%. Ship disassembly now requires the player to have enough inventory space or a nearby chest to store all returned items, preventing item loss. That's good. Fix the boar's second strike combo animation. It now has a clearer telegraph but not a longer reach. But it has a longer reach, so you have to be careful. Okay. Fix the Alpha Wolf's bleed effect. It now correctly applies only at the end of the grapple. Bleed damage will no longer affect players while they're being grappled. Fix a visual bug with outnumbered effect while it is active. Fixed a bug where the special attack damage bonus on jewelry did not work. It now correctly applies to all F attacks. Fix I always pronounce this wrong. Rosalinda Mercer's perk, sorry. The 30% chance to proc on a purple oh right. Okay, do you know what? I had literally, don't you find it sometimes when you're going through the tiniest the tiniest patch note, you see when you see something. I don't know if you guys watching this right now have seen like something that I read that you've been experiencing, and it's always such like a joy to be able to read something, because it now grants it now correctly grants purple instead of the blue one, which is exactly the issue that I have bumped into. Fix the bug that could cause a teleport when jumping over a growing tree. Fix several ore respawn bugs. Ore should now respawn correctly. Cycling through shanties will now always result in a different song. Very good. That's good for like a quality of life kind of thing. Fix several audio issues that occurred while using the F camera on a ship. Ship crew barks voice lines can now be heard once, even when using the F camera. Weapons are now correctly unequipped if the player removes a backpack containing them. Fix several ship interaction animations that cause sailors to clip into objects. Fix clothing clipping bugs when interacting with the shrouds on a ship. The quest board, the quest to the boards, the unsinkable, can now be completed even if the player stays on their own ship's deck during boarding. Fix an issue that caused Jim Goddard to spawn extra copies of himself. Fixed a rare error in the sea quest battles that occurred if a player left the game mid-fight. Fixed a bug in the Forgotten Relics quest caused by receiving all 3 mural messages from a single ruin, and the access markers will now disappear. And fix an incorrect tooltip for the Iron Caverns in Foothills, and it will no longer display XP. And finally, my Windrose players, we have the visual improvements. So they fixed distorted visuals for several weapons on low graphic settings. Grass will no longer be removed when planting trees or shrubs, and it will no longer also be removed under piers and wolves. Under the wolf head trophy model and textures, well, updated, I keep saying under because updated the wolf head trophy model and textures, fixed fireplace visuals, fixed clay wall textures, slightly updated smelter visuals, fixed bean sapling visuals, and vines should now correctly attach to the wooden supports, and finally everyone, improved the visibility of decorative beams for the Old World and Lost Tribe sets. this is the official patch notes, the major first update for Windrose, and hopefully there's a lot of stuff in there that you guys are super happy with. I'm sure they're going to be releasing more, such as the Steam Cloud Save fixes coming very soon, and I'm hoping that, I know the content is extremely far out, but I'm hoping that because of the constant fixes and improvements over time, they can really get Windrose to a great place that, you know, for me personally, it's already been in a really good place. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you later, and I'll see you in the next one.